What is good, YouTube? I'm predicting the top eight seed. The top eight teams in the playoffs before the playoffs start. Of course, my predictions was almost close. The one I took the most L on, the biggest L on, was the New York Knicks. They laid an egg. They started off hot. They started off good, but as teams started to adjust and to adapt to how they play, how to beat them because of the scouting reports, the New York Knicks, they went from being a playoff team to being way out of the discussion. So that was one of the playoff teams that took the biggest L on. So number one is Cleveland, Washington, Boston, Toronto, Atlanta, Indiana, Detroit, and Milwaukee. And that's the standing so far as Sunday, March 12th, 2017. So March 12th, that's the standing. My prediction gonna go from March 12th until next year before the playoff. Next month before the playoffs start. So number one, I'm gonna keep it Cleveland, just because they 2.5 games up. They don't have Kevin Love. They just got back J.R. Smith. They bench got better because Iman Shumpert went back to the bench. They still got Kyle Korver. They picked up Darren Williams. They still got Channing Frye. They still deep. And they defense has been their biggest problem to me. They haven't really been playing that good of defense lately. And even last year, before they won a championship, that's why they was losing to the Warriors. Before Draymond got suspended and Bogut got injured, they wasn't really playing enough defense to win the championship. But a couple things fell their way, and they ended up winning it anyway by 1 or 2 points. So they actually barely won that Game 7. I don't know why LeBron James always brag about winning that 3-1 series when they only really won it by 2 to 3 points. I forgot. But it really was real close. There was a Steph Curry 3 or a Maurice Spates jumper away from going to overtime, and they could have possibly lost. But there was a Steph Curry block and a pass away from losing the championship to the Warriors in a Game 7. But I do have Washington staying at number 2. I know Boston had the number 2 seed for a long time, but Washington has been playing fantastic basketball at number 2. They on a 5-game winning streak. They 7-3 in their last 10 games. John Wall has been playing like an MVP candidate all year, knocking down some clutch buckets, making the right passes, doing the right play, keeping his teammates involved. The evolution of Bradley Beal coming from just off the screen shooter to a guy that can put the ball on the floor, knock some contested threes down, and knock down the mid-range and get to the free throw line. Beal has become one of the better all-around shooting guards. He's not elite he's not an elite all-around player, but he's starting to show that he can do more than just shoot. And Marquise Morris has been playing good. I knew he was going to be a good pickup. They had to get their chemistry right last year. They doing it better this year. Gortat is a good finisher and a decent shooter, and he can actually shoot free throws and post up from time to time. I think Boston going to stay at 3 because they have the talent, they have the rotation, and they got the right play style. Toronto, they still don't have Kyle Lowry. They still been winning, but they also on a 2-game losing streak, and they 6-4. They 6-4 in their last 10 games. I mean, they won 6 and lost 4. And I think that the Atlanta Hawks can catch them. The Atlanta Hawks right now on a 3-game win streak. They really 1 game behind Toronto. So Toronto lose another game. Atlanta on a win streak. If they can win 2 games in a row and Toronto lose 1, Atlanta, I think they can run away with that 4th seed. I got Toronto finishing 5th, guaranteed. The Pacers, this been an off and on team. They win some, they lose some, they win some, they lose some, they win some, they lose some. They've been inconsistent all year. They haven't got no chemistry. They have the talent, they have the bench, they have the players, they have the names on paper, but they just haven't played like a team. I do blame Nate McMillan for not being able to put his team in the best position to win games. They've been struggling to score 100 points some games. They look predictable. They look boring. And none of the teammates really get that hot consistently. I thought Miles Turner was going to have to be the second best player for them to win. Miles Turner having a decent season, but nowhere near the season I thought he'd be having. Jeff Teague, I thought he was going to have a huge impact. He's not really doing that either. He's really been a bust this season. He had his good and his bad and the ugly, but he hasn't been a game changer. They also look worse than they was last year, and they actually had less talent last year, but I think Frank Vogel is definitely the better coach because he understands Paul George. He understands what Bird wants, even though he wanted up tempo. But Frank Vogel is actually a great coach to me, and I'm surprised that they let him go because him and Larry Bird had a good relationship, and he showed that he can win basically with anything that Larry Bird gave him. And I'm surprised that he let him go. Detroit, I do have them making the playoffs. I think they can hold on to that 7 seed because as of right now, only way they're gonna lose the 7 seed is if somebody go on a win streak, which is either Milwaukee, Chicago, or the Bucks. I mean Milwaukee, Miami, or the Bulls. Either one of them three teams gonna have to go on a win streak, or all three of them teams gonna have to play for the 8th seed. But I think Detroit Pistons with Stan Van Gundy, they have enough to lock in that 7th seed. And they got Drummond playing on a high level. Reggie Jackson, he's starting to get better. Since he came off his injury, he's getting more confident. Tobias Harris is a closer. He's clutch, and he's a versatile player. And I think Miami is going to get that 8th seed just because they're hot. They got a championship level coach. They know how to win. They know how to close out games. They have a good defensive center and Hassan Whiteside that clog up the paint. And they have a lot of athleticism and mobility on that team. Goran Dragic going to be coming back because he out today. And if they can beat the Pacers today, they might close in on that spot quicker than what people think. So I do think Milwaukee, they just don't have enough with Jabari out. Chris Middleton just coming back. Greg Monroe, I don't know. It's probably a toss-up between Milwaukee and Miami because they do got Greg Monroe, they do got Chris Middleton, they do got Giannis, and they have Tony Snell, Beasley, Deladova. It's definitely going to be between either Milwaukee or Miami taking that 8th seed. I don't think the Bulls have enough because they made all those trades in the middle of the season, in the beginning of the season, basically messing with the chemistry and the rotations of the players and the minutes of the players. I think Chicago might stay out. But if I had to pick between Miami or the Bucks, I'd pick Miami because they're hotter and they got a better coach. But Milwaukee Bucks, they have the talent to take that spot. And they have a superstar player on the verge of being a superstar player as in Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he has a lot of help to help him get that seed. So I do think the Bucks can make it, and I do think the Miami Heat can make it. But the Miami Heat, they play more consistent right now. They playing with more energy, more chemistry, and playing on a high level for the last 2 months. It seems like they really want that 8th seed. They really want to make the playoffs. They really want to end this season in the playoffs. And the Bucks are hot right now too, but sometimes the Bucks can beat themselves, or sometimes they can. I live in Wisconsin. I live in Milwaukee, in Glendale, right by Milwaukee, like 5 minutes away from Milwaukee. And sometimes the Bucks can get inconsistent. Sometimes they lack the shooting, so teams lock them up. But Miami got an easy schedule too, so that could help them ease into the playoffs too by having to beat easy teams to get in. While Milwaukee they have to really beat the good teams and the bad teams and the great teams to make it. So they have the difficult path, while Miami have an easier path. So let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, signing out. And make sure you comment for any video you want to see, and I will make the video for you. If you want to see any player in the NBA, just comment what player you want to see or what video you want to see next, and I can make it for you. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis out. And let me know y'all list of who making the playoffs and what seed before the season is over in the comments.